The rain came down hard, but it was not the water that drowned the hopes of so many. It was greed. In small coastal towns, families clung to rooftops, watching their lives wash away, betrayed by promises of protection. Billions meant for flood control became fortunes for the powerful, leaving the vulnerable exposed. Leaders chose profit over people, and the cost was paid by the innocent, their cries lost in the storm. This was not just a natural disaster, it was a man-made catastrophe. News reports showed the suffering of ordinary Filipinos while those responsible lived in luxury. The flood control projects were a sham. Inferior materials, skipped safety standards, and ignored regulations. Every shortcut eroded public trust, leaving millions at the mercy of both nature and corruption. Whistleblowers and journalists uncovered a web of shell companies and secret accounts, revealing a scheme to siphon billions. The scandal reached the highest levels of power, implicating officials once seen as public servants. For families who lost everything, the revelations brought unimaginable pain. The floodwaters were a physical manifestation of deep-seated corruption, scarring the nation. As the waters receded, they left behind ruin and a bitter truth: those elected to protect had sold out their people. Trust in government was shattered, replaced by anger and disillusionment. This was more than a political scandal, it was a moral crisis, with devastation as a constant reminder of the human cost of corruption. The fallout from the scandal was swift, striking at the heart of the Philippine economy. GDP growth plummeted to 4%, the lowest since the recovery began. The economy stalled, sending shockwaves through every sector. The government's response, a nationwide pause on state spending, was necessary, but devastating. The stock market nosedived, the peso crashed, and prices soared for ordinary Filipinos. Economic data became a daily drumbeat of bad news, confirming the crisis's depth. Construction sites fell silent, jobs vanished, and uncertainty spread to every household. The crisis exposed how public trust and economic stability are inseparable. When faith in governance collapses, the economy is among the first casualties. The numbers told a clear story. Unchecked corruption can bring a nation to its knees. The Philippines now face both moral outrage and financial ruin. Across the country, half-finished bridges and abandoned construction sites now litter the landscape. The government's spending freeze halted progress, leaving the skeletons of ambition behind. For workers, it meant lost income. For communities, another generation of waiting. The ripple effects hit suppliers, engineers, and small businesses, poisoning the economic ecosystem. Finance Secretary Frederick Go defended the pause as necessary to restore integrity. But the immediate cost was measured in lost jobs and deferred dreams. Stalled projects became symbols of broken promises and a future put on hold. Citizens passing these sites are reminded daily of what was stolen from them. The government promises a swift investigation, but until work resumes, these ghost projects stand as monuments to progress interrupted. The nation waits, wondering how long this paralysis will last. The scandal sent shockwaves through the international investment community. Years of building a reputation as a stable market were undone overnight. Reports of corruption and the spending freeze triggered a mass withdrawal of foreign funds. Projects were shelved, capital fled, and the peso weakened further. The message from investors was clear. Without transparency and rule of law, their money was safer elsewhere. The loss of confidence will linger, making future investment more expensive and difficult. Companies chose neighboring countries over the Philippines, costing jobs and opportunities. President Marcos Jr. acknowledged the damage, but reassurances were met with skepticism. The investor exodus is a painful lesson. A nation's greatest asset is its integrity. Without it, doors to global capital slam shut. Rebuilding trust will be far harder than rebuilding infrastructure. Beyond the headlines, the true cost of the scandal is measured in human emotion. Across the country, Filipinos voice the same frustration. We are tired of corruption. We want justice. Maria, a street vendor, and Ben, a jeepney driver, echo the national sentiment, demanding accountability, not excuses. Jail them, take back the money, end the cycle of impunity. The call for justice is not revenge, but a demand for a new standard of public service. Transparency is now a national anthem. Citizens want open bidding, public contracts, and independent audits. "We have a right to know," says Angela, a university student. "These are our funds, our future." The public is looking beyond this scandal to the root causes. The collective voice is one of frustration, but also resilient hope. Filipinos have seen their trust betrayed and their progress derailed. Yet, instead of despair, they are speaking out with unity and clarity. No longer passive victims, they are active participants in the fight for their country's soul. The demand is clear: justice, transparency, and a government that truly serves its people. The nation is united in its call for change. The era of secret deals must end. The people are ready to reclaim their future. As dusk fell, a different kind of flood filled Manila's streets. A flood of people, millions united, candles in hand, demanding truth and mourning what was lost. The protests were peaceful, solemn, and powerful, a national catharsis. From Luzon to Mindanao, the entire nation rose as one. The world watched as Filipinos stood together, refusing to be silent. The candlelight vigil sent a clear message. The people are the ultimate authority. The unity on display was a source of pride and hope, showing that Filipinos can come together when it matters most. This wave of protest marked a shift, renewed civic engagement, and a refusal to accept corruption. The streets became the stage for a nation's conscience. The people reclaimed their voice and their power. Under siege, the government scrambled to contain the damage. President Marcos Jr. addressed the nation, promising a thorough investigation and justice for the guilty. Public skepticism ran high. Decades of broken promises had left deep scars. A new finance secretary, Frederick Go, outlined a recovery plan, projecting a quick rebound. Trillions in additional funds were announced to counteract the slump. Every government move was scrutinized by the public and media. Critics accused the administration of deflecting blame and downplaying the scandal. The challenge: prosecute the guilty and stabilize the economy. Two goals often at odds. The administration walked a tightrope, its every move watched by a nation demanding real change. The government's survival and the nation's future hung in the balance. As November ended, the Philippines found itself in the midst of a gripping national drama. Investigative committees and televised hearings captivated the public. Whistleblowers presented damning evidence, tracing the flow of stolen funds. High-profile arrests were made, but the slow justice system loomed as a challenge. The judiciary faced a critical test: deliver impartial justice or reinforce the culture of impunity. Meanwhile, the economy teetered, with the government's spending push a high-stakes gamble. Will it be enough to counteract the slump, or is it too late? The coming months will determine the fate of millions. The forces of reform clash with entrenched interests, and every day brings new questions. The story is unfinished, the stakes monumental, and the ending unknown. This is more than a scandal. It's a turning point. The Philippines stands at a crossroads, forced to confront the cancer of corruption. Two futures beckon, one of apathy and broken promises, the other of accountability and reform. The immediate test: will the guilty be punished, or will impunity prevail? The public demands more than punishment. They want systemic change. New laws, stronger institutions, and a culture of public service are needed. The political will for reform is unprecedented, but the struggle will be long. The future is being written now, in courtrooms, legislatures, and the hearts of the people. The unity shown in protest has awakened a sleeping giant. The world watches as the Philippines decides whether this is just another chapter, or the moment it finally turns the page.